Okay, so Tony, I am so excited to learn more about your background and also share with our audience about everything that you're doing in Birmingham, Alabama in the tech space. So let's start off by allowing you to introduce yourself and tell us about Black Belt Technologies and BBT Connects.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. We're thrilled to be within this space and to sit down and collaborate and talk about who we are at any given time. But of course, to be here with you and to share our story is truly an honor. So thank you for this. I'm Toni Green. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama, grew up on the east side of town, went to Alabama, majored in public relations and Spanish. Neither of those have nothing to do with technology. My father actually started Black Belt Technologies 20 years ago. Beginning of this year, we celebrated our 20th year anniversary. And he has a degree, an electrical engineering degree from the University of Alabama as well. And so he went into the corporate space, ventured off about 2001 with the economic crash and 9/11 to start his own company. And that is how Black Belt Technologies was birthed, or the beginning phases of the birthing of it all. And what we do at Black Belt Technologies is we focus within the space of network managed services, broadband, and security, both hardware and software. BBT Connects was birthed in 2021, so during the pandemic. Again, apparently, we see when worldwide crises are going on, we spring into action to start businesses, which is really interesting. But BBT Connects works in conjunction with Black Belt Technologies. We're two separate entities, but we work hand in hand and we have the same focus, but two different functionalities. So Black Belt Technologies focuses more on the engineering and design of our solutions. BBT Connects is everything else. So we focus on all of the activities that would have us customer and community facing. BBT Connects also has a very community-centric arm to who we are outside of our corporate functions in the technology industry. And a lot of that looks like our co-working space that we have here at our office in North Birmingham. It looks like our Tech Academy, where we are providing programming for the community starting in grade 5 all the way through seniors. And I do mean like older seniors, not school-age seniors. And just really focusing on programming that is an introduction of technology, looking at people's skill sets, also understanding what their interests are, and just really providing a space for people to learn and grow. And that's who we are in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So, here, I know that you all have a lot of co-working spaces and office spaces here. So tell us about how the space that we're in came about. How did you decide to choose this side of town? And how did you decide like the size of the building that you would need? And just tell us about how that's been going with the property, because we have a lot of companies, a lot of business owners that may be in tech or not in tech that, getting a business property and being able to just make things run smoothly and efficient. Tell us about that journey and give us some tips on what we can expect. Or
Well, it's actually a fun story. My father and his business partner at the time bought this building in 2015. So for those of the viewers that don't know, we're located in North Birmingham, in downtown North Birmingham. And at the time that they purchased it, the city center here was pretty destitute. It's coming back now, and it's very exciting to see people moving around and just the energy and the synergy that's happening within this space. But at the time when they purchased it, it was a closed medical clinic. And it had been vacant for, years prior to them purchasing it. It's a 20,000 square foot building, and the vision was for this space to really be one that serves the community in every capacity outside of our corporate function. And so this space was, the community was selected on purpose long before the building became available. My father grew up in rural Alabama, and he grew up in a space where a lot of resources were not readily available to him. And truly, by God's grace, he is where he is today and has been able to do the things that he's been able to do. But one of the things that really hit home to him was when he ventured out to start a business. No one in his family had really started a business. And so having access and knowledge and connections, that was something he had to figure out. He had to get it out of the mud by himself and made a lot of mistakes. We still do. I mean, tell me a business owner that is not, figuring it out as they go. And so once he started to really make some strides and to really start building the business, he promised that he would not allow other small businesses connected to him that are starting out have to start out the same way he did. And so everything that he's acquired and learned, resources, wisdom, you have it, he's pouring it back into other people. And so the vision for this space was to create an opportunity for small business owners to have an affordable location. He has a heart for women and women business owners. He can't help it. He has daughters. So that's just kind of who he is. And so his heart and focus has really been on creating space for women business owners of color to be able to come into a space to have the affordability of an office space, but also to have those resources needed to start a business and to sustain a business. And so that's how he chose this space. And then, of course, North Birmingham being his target community, North Birmingham looks a lot like the space he grew up in. Mm-hmm. And had he had what we are offering and trying to expand more and offer within the community, more people, more of his peers would have been able to have had an opportunity. By the grace of God, he got the opportunities that he got, but he's really wanting to create that space and synergy for other kids who grew up like him to have the opportunities that he's been able to have. He talks about the people in his life that sparked interests, and we all have those folks, right? And so if you don't have a safe space to come into, be it a child or an adult, budding professionals, a safe space that's trusted, but that's also encouraging you and providing those resources, who knows where any of us would be if somebody didn't do that for us.
Right.
And so that's what this space is dedicated to doing. Yes, we are a technology company, but we also understand that each of us is created to be purposeful and to leave purpose and meaning in the spaces that we've afforded to be in. And so if we're not taking advantage of those opportunities and seizing the moment and sparking those interests for other people, God knows what we're going to be doing. God knows. And so we're here to make our space better, ultimately.
Yeah. I'm familiar with what the black belt means because I actually volunteered with a group of people that went to certain black belt areas to give and serve and stuff like that. So tell me, because this is the name of your company, why did you choose to use that? And let's educate the people that don't necessarily know what the phrase black belt areas are.
So the company actually started because, I told you why it started. But it started working within the Black Belt region. But that's not why the company's name is Black Belt Technologies, which is kind of ironic, but it is what it is. Okay. It's more so centered around the characteristics of a black belt, as in martial arts.
Okay.
So precision.
Karate.
Exactly. And my dad's business partner, who passed away unexpectedly a few years ago, she was a black belt. Mm-hmm. And so just the precision and the discipline and the operation of excellence, those characteristics that are required of a black belt commitment is what the company wanted to represent in our name. And obviously in marketing, it is important to have your mission, your vision, and your name to be in alignment. And I thought it was, and for an engineer to think that my dad is truly an engineer. He doesn't think about things like marketing and like the parts of it that put together, but I think it's so brilliant how they came to make that decision to make that be the name of the company. Not necessarily understanding all of the parts that play into it, but just living it out. And so that's essentially how we came to the name. But then obviously serving within the Black Belt region and the commitment to being within that space, it all just kind of, I would say it's happenstance, but it's not. They just didn't know, they started at the time of what they had, not knowing what would be happening 20 years later.
Right.
And so from when the company started,
beautiful.
Exactly, they started in the space. Those were the first folks who took a chance on them as a startup company, which business owners know, especially the startups, it's always hard. But when you have those customers that take a chance and that you still are serving them to this day, and it has expanded, and it just so happened to be, we're still in the region.
I call them my day one.
That's it. And that's exactly who they are. And that is, it's expanded. It's just been a beautiful God thing. Not a happy accident, not a happenstance. We right where we're supposed to be doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
And I love that. I love when you can look at something, especially like your company name, Black Belt Technology. And what you stand for, the communities that you choose to be positioned in, and all of that is beautiful. But when I hear the name Black Belt Technologies, because of where you're located, I automatically think, okay, she's intentional. She's trying to put her company in the Black Belt for a reason. But it's actually a different meaning inside.
But it still works.
Internal, it works. It works. I love that. So everything you shared with us today was extremely inspirational, extremely encouraging, extremely exciting. I'm excited.
Me too.
So excited about what you're doing. And I just hope that someone that watches this video sees it and knows, hey, I don't have to chase after the personalities or the things that I see on the TV screen or over here on TikTok, or these particular people that say I have to do this and do that in order to get this or that in life. I can look at someone like Toni or any of the other tech queens that we have featured at techqueenshop.com, and I can make a difference in my own community. I can be inspired by positive women that are excited to pour into us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you so much for taking your time out to share. I was very fond of you when I met you, and now that I know the history and the story, I'm just amped up. So let's get excited. Let's get it done. 2025.
It's our year.
All
It's
right.
our year. Thank you so much again. And then just last thing I wanted to add was, this space is not just for the coworkers. We have meeting room space that can be transformed in whatever capacity. We are truly here to serve the community. And so folks can go check us out on our website, get some information about who we are, what we're doing, the ways that they can plug in and connect here, or if they have any needs that need to be met. Give us a shout. We'll figure it out.
The fact that you shared your vision with us, and it's so giving, and every month the Tech Queen Shop highlights a Tech Queen on the scene. And so, of course, you're our Tech Queen on the scene for April.